They're being called killer robots, machines that decide independently on targets to strike without being told by any human.
Killer robots, kind of a shorthand name for fully autonomous weapons. These are something we think of as being beyond drones. They're weapons where there is no human intervention. That is, the robot itself, the armed robot itself, makes the decision about what its target should be and when it should pull the trigger.
Although they do not yet exist, the world's most powerful militaries are taking steps in that direction and are believed to be available in the next few decades or sooner. A report released earlier this week by Human Rights Watch and Harvard Law School International Human Rights Clinic, titled Losing Humanity, the Case Against Killer Robots, outlines the dangers of these fully autonomous weapons. Director of Human Rights Watch's Arms Division, Steve Goose, says an international ban as well as prohibitions in each country must be carried out before these robots become the future of war.
The farther down the road this gets, the harder it's going to be to stop it. The more money that's poured into it, the more time passes, the more they're going to get integrated into future war plans and into the doctrine of various militaries. So we think the only way to approach this really is to nip it in the bud and to have a prohibition now.
Goose also discussed the role of the United States military in the development of these deadly autonomous weapons.
The U.S. Is the leader, as far as we can tell. And, of course, a lot of this research is secretive and classified. But as far as we can tell, the U.S. is the leader in both robotic warfare in general and the push toward fully autonomous systems.
Goose stated that these weapons would violate the proportionality test, which is required under international humanitarian law to weigh the advantages of an attack against the possible civilian casualties. In addition to legal concerns, there's a lack of accountability as to who would be responsible for civilian deaths, since the robots would decide which targets to hit themselves. An ethical consideration also posed is the ease of war which killer robots would bring.
These kinds of weapons will make it more likely that a state would go to war. It's easier to make the decision to go out and fight if you're not worried about casualties to your soldiers. And what that does, in fact, is to shift the burden of conflict away from the military, those who are trained to fight, to civilians who will bear the brunt of any mistakes that these killer robots make. And they will inevitably make mistakes.
The research and development of killer robots includes air, land, and sea warfare. Marjan Asi, Press TV, Washington.